Hello everyone! Welcome to the video course English File Pre-Intermediate 4th edition, episode number 26, Unit 8, Part A, Should I Stay or Should I Go? In this series of videos, I'm helping you go through this wonderful textbook. There are 5 parts in today's lesson. The first part, reading and listening, is a big warm-up part that can help you get some context and ideas how to use should, a modal verb should. You can use it to give someone advice. It follows by a grammar part. There will be a couple of exercises and a little bit of a theory. After that, you'll get a chance to practice it. Speaking of a pronunciation part, I'm sure it's going to be confusing. It's all about the difference between U sound, like in would, should, good, and U sound, like in flew, food, do. If you're scared, don't worry, I'll explain you something later. Part 4 is speaking and listening. It's going to be a very interesting audio that consists of 3 parts. As you can guess, it's about asking for and giving advice. Part 5 is vocabulary and speaking. I'm sure you've heard and seen the verb get many times, and maybe you're wondering, what does the verb get mean? You'll find out in this part. There will be a couple of questions to answer as well. Before we start, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who is supporting my channel, and remember, these lessons are available only because of you. So if you want to see more episodes, please join my Boosty or use donation alerts. You can find all the links in the description. It's very important. Now, let's start our lesson. First of all, let's look at the word advice. Advice is some useful information that could help someone solve a problem or find a good way to do something. People usually say, "Oh, I need some advice." Or, "What should I do in my situation? I need some advice." Or, let me give you some advice. You should do this or you should do that, and so on. So, check the meaning of advice if you still don't have an idea what it means. One important thing to say: advice is uncountable. Yeah, I know a lot of English learners are confused about it. But why? Let me just say that it is what it is. So try to remember these phrases. Some advice. Can you give me some advice? I need some advice. I can give you some advice. But if you want only one, not many, or not much advice, use a piece of advice. I need a piece of advice. Or I have 2 good pieces of advice for you. I know it can sound a bit confusing, but then after a while, it will become okay for you. Read the information on the screen again, and we will move on. Part A. If you have a problem that you need to talk about, do you talk to a friend or to a member of your family? Why? It's a good question to start with, isn't it? We sometimes need someone to talk to if we have something that worries us. Speaking of me, I don't like bothering my friends with my problems. That is why I go straight to my family. Why? Because my family is always supportive. They're ready to help me anytime, any moment. However, I don't like talking about my problems. I usually try to keep them to myself, and you can say, "Oh, it's a bad thing, you should talk to someone." But I feel very good if I can solve a problem myself without any help. If someone helps me, it's a bit disappointing. It is just my personality. Now, what about you? Answer these questions and say as much as you can. Good luck. Part B. TV chat show host Graham Norton has an advice column in a British newspaper. An advice column, by the way, is a section in newspapers or magazines where real people can send their questions and then read the answers in an advice column later. Of course, it's easier to use the internet, but this thing, advice columns still exist. Now read a problem which was sent to him and 3 possible options. Then talk to a partner. Which of 3 pieces of advice do you agree with? Why? First, read the problem and possible solutions or options. What to do in that situation. Then I'll give you my thoughts and ask you to do the same. Dear Graham, I'm 24 and my partner is 46. We've been together for 2 years and we have a wonderful relationship. I also have a great relationship with his children from his previous marriage. But I feel worried when I think about our future together. He has already lived life. He's been married, he's had children, and he's owned a business. I'm just starting my life. I want to have children, but he isn't sure. I love him and I want to be with him, but I also want to share the adventures of life with someone. Should I leave him? Am I making my life more difficult by choosing to be with someone who is more than 20 years older than me? Tracey. Now, which of the 3 pieces of advice do you agree with? Why? Personally, I agree with the piece of advice A. She should leave him. I'm sorry to say that, but I strongly believe that you cannot build a healthy, good relationship with someone who is 20 years older than you. It's illusional. Why? I haven't seen any examples of it in my life. I haven't read any happy endings. Such a relationship is always going to end, how to say it, not well. But it's only my opinion. You can disagree. Now choose a piece of advice you agree with and explain why you agree with it. Your turn to speak. Part C. Now listen to Tracey reading Graham's advice. Which of the 3 options does Graham think is right? Why? Earlier it was just our opinion, my and yours. Now your task is to understand Graham's advice. You can get it, which of 3 options by using the context. So the girl, Tracey, will be reading what Graham has written. Before you listen the audio, make sure that you understand the following vocabulary. The long-term relationship, in your case, support, it's not his fault, compare, think carefully, make a decision. I think now you're ready to do it. Good luck.
8.1.
Hi, Tracey. You know the answer to your last question, and it's yes. Oh, you're making your life more difficult. But it's also true that having a long-term relationship with anyone is difficult. And in your case, you can at least see what some of the problems are. I'm sure this man loves you and will support you in all your goals in life, but it's true that he's already done all the things you want to do. It's not his fault, but it means that he'll never get as excited as you about, for example, a wedding or having another child. Oh. And everything you experience together, he'll probably compare to the last time he did it. You should think carefully about what kind of partner you really want. Someone who can support you and show you the way in life, or someone who will discover life with you. You shouldn't make a decision in a hurry. When you're clearer about what you want, then you can decide if you're going to stay with this man or not. Good luck. Oh.
Ну что же, переведу, не буду лишать вас удовольствия послушать, о чем это все у нас было в итоге. Дорогой Грейм, мне 24 года, а моему партнеру 46. Мы уже вместе 2 года, и у нас чудесные отношения, то есть relationship отношения. Я к тому же имею хорошие отношения с его детьми из его это предыдущего брака, из предыдущего брака. Но я чувствую себя обеспокоенной, когда я думаю про, получается, наше будущее вместе. Он уже пожил жизнь, он, получается, был женат, у него уже были дети, то есть у него уже были дети, и он уже имел бизнес, грубо говоря. Я только начинаю, только начинаю свою жизнь. Я хочу иметь детей, но он не уверен об этом. Я люблю его, и я хочу быть с ним. Но я к тому же также хочу, то есть разделить вот эти приключения, разделить их с кем-то, приключения жизни с кем-нибудь, with someone, с кем-нибудь. Ну, стоит мне уйти от него, а не делаю ли я свою жизнь более сложной из-за того, что я выбрала, можно вот так сказать, by choosing, то есть выбирая быть с кем-то, кто более чем на 20 лет старше, чем я. Вот такое вот сообщение от Трейси, от девушки. И она получила такой ответ. «Привет, Трейси. Ты знаешь ответ на твой последний вопрос, и, and it's yes, имеется в виду «да». То есть ты делаешь жизнь свою сложнее. Все-таки эксперт так решил. Да, вот, ты делаешь свою жизнь более сложной. Это также правда, что иметь, то есть long term, это имеется крепкие, длинные, долгосрочные, можно так сказать, долгосрочные отношения с кем-нибудь, это сложно. И в твоем случае, то есть ты можешь, по крайней мере, видеть кое-какие проблемы. What some of the problems are. То есть ты можешь видеть, какие есть проблемы. Я уверен, этот человек любит тебя и будет поддерживать тебя во всех твоих целях, то есть в жизни. Но это правда, что он уже сделал многое, то есть he's already done, то есть много всего сделал. Все вещи, которые ты хочешь сделать. Это не его вина, it's not his fault, это не его вина. И это означает, что, получается, он уже не будет такой же радостный, как и ты, вот насчет, например, свадьбы или того, что еще одного ребенка завести. Он уже не будет так радоваться этому. И все, что, получается, все, что вы испытываете вместе, он, возможно, вероятно, будет сравнивать с предыдущим временем, в которое он делал это. То есть, грубо говоря, да, мысль понятна, но он будет все сравнивать с тем, что у него уже было. Вам следует, или так вот, наверное, да, тебе следует подумать тщательно про то, какого партнера ты реально хочешь. То есть кого-то, кто может поддерживать тебя и показывать the way in life, имеется в виду показывать путь в жизни, то есть направление в жизни. Или кто-то, кто, получается, будет открывать жизнь вместе с тобой. То есть либо уже опытный, либо вот кто также будет радоваться всему. И тебе не следует принимать решение, make a decision in a hurry, в спешке. То есть, когда вы, получается, when you're clearer, то есть, когда ты будешь немножко, у тебя немножко прояснится, то есть, clearer более чисто станет, прояснится о том, что ты хочешь, тогда ты можешь решить, то есть, собираешься ли ты оставаться с этим человеком или нет. Вот такой вот совет, ну и в конце good luck, типа удачи. Вот такая вот история с советами и прочим была. Ну что ж, идем дальше. Part number 2. Grammar, should, part A. Look at the sentences, answer questions 1 to 3. Should I leave him? She should stay with him. You shouldn't make a decision in a hurry. Question number 1. What do we use should for? A. Rules. B. Advice. C. Permission. I think it's really obvious, but still. Number 2. Does should change in sentences with the third person, like he, she, it? And question number 3. How do we make negatives in questions with should? Just think a little, then try to explain those to yourself. After that, you can check your ideas. Let's see the answer. What do we use should for? The answer is B. So this one, as I mentioned it earlier, it was really obvious. We use should to give someone some advice or to ask for it. Question number 2. Does should change in sentences with the third person, like he, she, it? No. Remember, it's a modal verb, and modal verbs don't change. You remember can and must, for example. Should works the same, like he should, she should, and so on. Number 3. How do we make negatives in questions with should? We add not or an apostrophe T for negatives, like I should not do this or I shouldn't do this. Again, modal verbs, you can see the pattern, like can, can't, must, mustn't, should, shouldn't. Speaking of questions, we use should plus subjects plus infinitive for questions. Like, should I help you? Should she come here? What should I do? And so on. Okay, it was just warming up stuff. Now listen to some examples given here.
8.2. 1.
You should leave your boyfriend.
She's very stressed. She shouldn't work so hard.
You shouldn't drink coffee in the evening. It'll keep you awake. 2.
I think you should get a new job.
I don't think you should speak to him.
Let's read the rules. Number 1. We use should, shouldn't plus verb, infinitive without to give somebody advice or say what we think is the right thing to do. Should, shouldn't is the same for all persons. It means we don't change this verb, like I should, you should, she should, and so on, for all persons. Number 2. We often use I think you should or I don't think you should, and not I think you shouldn't. Look, it's not critical, but sounds just a bit unnatural. It's okay to say you shouldn't go there or you should do this, but if you use I think, be careful with that. Say it like this: I don't think you should do it. I don't think she should come, and so on. And speaking of ought to, it's just, yes, some strange words here. You can also use ought to, ought not to, instead of should, shouldn't. For example, you ought to leave your boyfriend. She ought not to work so hard. Of course, you can use it, especially if you find it cool. I mean, how it sounds, yeah? But ought to isn't very common nowadays. Anyway, try to remember that we can use ought to instead of should, and ought not to instead of shouldn't. But to be honest, it's better just to use should, and that's all. Okay, let's move on. Exercises. Exercise A. Complete the sentences with should or shouldn't. Look carefully at the context and then make a decision. You should lose a bit of weight. That man in the picture is overweight, so it's good advice for him. Look, exercise B is almost the same. You put should or shouldn't into the gaps. But before, you find a proper or right verb to use. For example, leave has been already used, so do the others. Okay, now do it and you can check your answers. Everything as usually. Let's go. So let's do these exercises together. Part A, complete with should or shouldn't. Advice number 0, it's it was given just for an example. You should lose a bit of weight. It's advice for this person. Number 1, work really long hours every day. Yeah, so maybe it's better to use you shouldn't work really long hours every day. It will make you tired and stressed. Next, you should stop smoking. Yeah, it's a common advice to give. You should stop smoking. Yeah, because smoking is a bad thing for your health. Next, number 3, eat more fruit and vegetables. Usually people advise that, so you should eat more fruit and vegetables. Number 4, put so much sugar in your coffee. Maybe you shouldn't do that because sugar is bad, of course. Number 5, it's easy here. You should start doing some exercise. Sport is good for your health, especially, light sport. Next is less. Yeah, you see less. So you should drink less alcohol. Number 7, you should drink more water. And you shouldn't go to bed so late because you need some sleep. So that was exercise A. Now let's move on and let's look at the exercise B. Complete the sentences with should or shouldn't plus a verb from the list. Yeah, be, buy, book, drive, leave, relax, spend, study, wear. We should leave now. It's getting late, so leave has been already used here. Number 1, a scarf, it's really cold today. A scarf is an item of clothing, so you should wear a scarf. It's really cold today. Next, this afternoon I have an exam tomorrow. I shouldn't relax. No, I should study. Yes, maybe this one. I should study this afternoon. I have an exam tomorrow. Next is, really? Drive, book, buy, spend, relax, be. Yeah, it will be okay. Next is number 3, you need a break. Yeah, you should have a holiday. Be, buy. We don't have here. Yeah, you should be holiday, wear, spend, relax, drive. Book, maybe. Okay, let's skip it just for a case and we will check later. Sometimes it happens, it's okay. Number 4, you look really ill. You shouldn't be, yeah? You shouldn't be at work, so go home instead. Number 5, she's very stressed at the moment. She should relax, yeah. She should relax more. She's very stressed at the moment. Number 6, you shouldn't drive so fast. Yeah, I think it's obvious here. You shouldn't drive so fast. These roads very dangerous. Parents more time with their children spend. Yeah, parents should spend more time with their children. And him an iPod should buy. Maybe he's only 7 years old. Maybe you shouldn't buy him an iPad. He's only 7 years old, and having gadgets at that age could be not a good thing, so to speak. So, what is left here? Yeah? Book a holiday. Why didn't I guess it? Okay, you should book a holiday. You need a break. Now we have used each word out of this list. So, now I will read for you the answers overall. You should lose a bit of weight. You shouldn't work really long hours every day. You should stop smoking. You should eat more fruit and vegetables. You shouldn't put so much sugar in your coffee. You should start doing some exercise. You should drink less alcohol. You should drink more water. You shouldn't go to bed so late. We should leave now. It's getting late. You should wear a scarf. It's really cold today. I should study this afternoon. I have an exam tomorrow. You should book a holiday. You need a break. You look really ill. You shouldn't be at work. She should relax more. She's very stressed at the moment. You shouldn't drive so fast. This road's very dangerous. Parents should spend more time with their children. You shouldn't buy him an iPad. He's only 7 years old. Okay, that's all. Now, let's move on. Part C. Read the messages. What should the people do? Write a short answer to each message. You can do it orally, by the way, using your mouth, or you can write it as it's stated in the task. I'll do it orally. My answers will be silly and stupid just for fun. Yours should be real ones, okay? Let's see, problem number 1. My neighbors have noisy parties every weekend. I can't sleep and it's driving me mad. I think you should wait for your neighbors to fall asleep and turn on loud music. That would be a good decision. Number 2. It was my girlfriend's birthday yesterday and I forgot to get her anything. She isn't happy. You should come up to her and ask, why are you so sad, or why are you upset? Is there a problem we must discuss? And talk to her. That's all. Number 3. I share a flat with a friend, but she never does any housework. I think you should steal her keys and you shouldn't let her out until she does some housework. And number 4. My 10-year-old son wants a smartphone. He says all his friends have one. You should find him a job. Maybe. It will be a good decision, I think, yeah? Okay, my answers were just for fun. Now do this task and use your advice and your ideas. Do it. Part 3 pronunciation. U and U sounds. A. Listen and repeat the words and sounds. What's the difference between the two sounds? Which consonant isn't pronounced in should and would? Now listen and try to hear the difference. But I warn you, it's okay if you don't hear any difference at all.
8.3.
Bull. Should. Would. Good. Put.
Boot. Ooh. Choose. Do. Truth. You.
First, I'll read what's written in the textbook. Yeah? So, what is the difference? Is short, U is long sound. And speaking of consonants, the letter L isn't pronounced in should and would. It's not like should or would. No, it's just should, would, and that's all. And let me say something about this. If you can't hear, see, or understand the difference between like in good, put, and sounds, like in choose, for example, do, truth, it's absolutely okay. Don't even worry about it. You'll master it later. Now you can go crazy if you try, because there aren't any clear spelling rules how to identify whether it's a long sound or a short sound. You see, for example, we have double O in choose and good, yeah? The same spelling, but the sounds are different. So you have to memorize each word. And I don't think you should do it, because you will go crazy. Just keep it in mind that there are two sounds in the English language, short and long. And you can protest, but there are some words that are very different, like full with a short one and fool with a long one. Full, it's the opposite of empty. Fool, it means like a stupid or a silly person. Look, if you read something like this, it's not a problem, because spelling is different, yeah? If you hear something, it's not a problem because of the context. The bottle is full. What have you done? You're full, yeah? And if you worry that you can't pronounce them differently, it's okay. People that listen to you will also use the context, and they will understand you. So don't lose your faith in yourself and just keep going. English isn't easy, but everything in English is possible to learn anyway. Now look, listen to the audio and try to repeat these words, to say them out loud, to practice them, and maybe you will hear a difference. Maybe not, but it's okay.
8.4.
Bull. Book. Could. Look. Pull. Push.
Boot. Ooh. Cool. Flu. Food. Lose. Shoes. School.
Part C. Practice saying the sentences. Again, the audio will help you do it. I'll play it 3 times. And by the way, if you don't want to do it, you can skip it, it's okay. But anyway, it's better to practice.
1. What should I do? 2. You shouldn't lose your cool. 3. You should tell the truth. 4. What school should they choose? 1. What should I do? 2. You shouldn't lose your cool. 3. You should tell the truth. 4. What school should they choose? 1. What should I do? 2. You shouldn't lose your cool. 3. You should tell the truth. 4. What school should they choose?
Part number 4. Speaking and listening. A. Look at some advice for another problem. With a partner, say what you think the problem is. It's a guessing task. Number 1. What should Annabelle and Peter do? A. They should tell their 25-year-old son that he can't go on holiday, he needs to save money. B. They should let him go, everybody needs a holiday. C. They should let him go, but they should ask him to start paying rent. Look, of course I can be your partner and we can discuss it, but I can spoil you a pleasure of guessing. Look at the options and try to guess what problem is. You can start by saying, I think Annabelle and Peter have problem with and you continue. Now guess it. For the next task, learn and revise the following vocabulary: a chef, to rent, pay bills, independent, to need a break, to have own place to live. Part B. Listen to Annabelle and Peter phoning a radio program called What's the Problem? And make notes about the problem with their son. Were you right? Yeah. First, you listen to the audio, then you check your idea. You can say I was right or I was wrong. Then you retell the audio. Like just a short summary, that's all. Now listen and do this task. Good luck.
8.5.
Hello, I'm Annabelle.
And I'm Peter.
Hi there, Annabelle and Peter. What's your problem?
We've got a son, Jamie, and he's 25. He's a chef.
But he still lives with us because he says it's too expensive to rent a flat and he doesn't earn enough money.
He gives us some money every month for bills. Not much, but a bit. And you know it's nice to have him at home, but we think he needs to be more independent.
Yes, absolutely.
But last week, he told us that he's planning a 2-week holiday to Mexico with his friends. I mean, it's true that he works full-time and we know he needs a break, but we really think...
Yes, we don't think he should go on an expensive holiday when he doesn't give us much money. We think he should save his money so that he can get his own place to live. Should we tell him that he can't go to Mexico?
Look, the answer is their son, Jamie, wants to go on holiday to Mexico with some friends. Annabelle and Peter, his parents, don't think he should go. They think he should save his money so he can get his own place to live. Were you right about this? Maybe, I don't know. Now part C. Talk to your partner and choose the best advice for Annabelle and Peter. Tick A, B or C and say why. For me, actually, to go on holiday is a waste of money. But I would choose C. Like, if you live with your parents and you work, you must help them pay rent. So I choose C. They should let him go, but they should ask him to start paying rent. What about you? Do you agree or disagree with me? What would you choose out of these 3 options? Maybe it will be A, maybe B. Maybe you agree with me and also choose C. Just do this task. Now listen to an expert giving them advice. Is the advice you chose? Is it good advice? Why? Why not?
8.6.
You know, to be honest, I think you're being a bit hard on him. I mean, he's only 25. It's good that he has a job, and everybody needs a holiday. My advice is that you should let him go to Mexico. But when he comes back, you should sit down with him and talk to him about starting to pay rent. That way, he'll understand that he needs to start planning for the future and to start thinking about renting a flat. But I know from talking to other parents that there are a lot of young people still living at home in their 20s and 30s, and some of them don't even have jobs. So, in many ways, I think you're lucky.
You see? That's just what I think. I said...
Number 2. What should Nick do? A. He should stay where he has a job and see his girlfriend at weekends. B. He should go with her and start a new life. C. He should tell her to stay where they are if she wants to stay together. First, try to guess what kind of or sort of a problem Nick has. Now it's time to guess. Now listen to the audio, check your idea, and try to say what the problem is. Just a short summary, a retelling.
8.7.
Hi there, I'm Nick.
Hi, Nick. So, what's your problem?
Well, I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years. We have a really great relationship, although we're quite different. She's clever and popular, and I'm, quiet and hard-working. Anyway, now she wants to move to London because she thinks she can get a better job there. And she wants me to go to London too. You know, London's much more exciting than Bolton, where we live now. But I have a good job in Bolton and I get a good salary. I mean, the idea of moving and having a new life is like a dream, but for me, that's what it is. I mean, it's a dream. It isn't real. What should I do? Should I follow my heart and move to London with her? Or should I stay here, where I know I have a good job, but possibly lose my girlfriend?
Now, let's choose the best advice. First my turn, then yours. My opinion is a bit strange. For me, professional life, your job, something you do, is much more important than romantic things. So my advice is A. At least they can test an idea. After a while, I think they can find a solution, maybe. But I think he should stay where he has a job and see his girlfriend at weekends. Maybe it will work and it will help them. Now, your turn to choose. Choose the best advice and explain why you think so. Now listen to an expert giving them advice. Is it the advice you chose? Is it good advice? Why not?
8.8.
I think you should sit down together and talk about your dreams for the future and see if they are the same dreams. If they are, and you can see a future together, then the first thing is for her to look for a job in London. If she finds one, then maybe she can move there first, and you can go at weekends and see how you feel about life there.
Thanks a lot for that. I think that's really good advice. I'll go and let her know now.
Person number 3. What should Jane do? Okay, the same tasks but different audios. What should Jane do? A. She should go on holiday with both friends. She should get to know her friend Angie better and then decide. And she should refuse to go if Angie goes too. Whoa, this problem isn't easy to guess, but try to guess Jane's problem. Now listen to the audio, check your idea, and try to say what the problem is.
8.9.
Hello, my name's Jane.
Hi, Jane. So, why are you calling?
Well, a month ago, my friend Susan and I decided to go on holiday together this summer to Turkey. So we planned everything, and I was really looking forward to it, as Susan's an old friend and I don't see her very often. But the other day, she told me that she was telling another friend of hers about our holiday, somebody I don't know, a woman called Angie. And Angie was really interested. And now Susan has invited her to come too. Susan never asked me what I thought. I don't even know Angie, and I really don't want to go on holiday with someone I don't know. What should I do?
Now let's choose the best advice. First my turn, then yours. For me, it's definitely A, both friends, because it's so hard to get to know someone new nowadays. To make friends, I mean. Why not to use this opportunity? Yeah, there is a chance that Angie is a bad person, but anyway, just have a go and try it. Now your turn to choose. Choose the best advice and explain why you think so. Now listen to an expert giving them advice. Is it the advice you chose? Is it good advice? Why? Why not?
8.10.
I think your friend has been a bit insensitive, and she's put you in a difficult position. You have several different options. You could say that you aren't going if Angie goes, but then you'll put Susan in a difficult position. Or you could just cancel and suggest having another holiday later with just the two of you. Or you could invite someone else who you like, and then there would be 4 of you, which is sometimes a better number than 3. But in fact, you don't know Angie, and maybe you'll like her. So I think you should try to get to know her first. If you like her, then the holiday will probably be a success. If not, then you should tell your friend you aren't going because you don't think it will work with Angie. You know, a bad holiday is worse than no holiday.
Теперь рассмотрим проблемы Аннабелл и Питера. Привет, я Аннабель, и я Питер. Привет, Аннабель и Питер. Какая ваша проблема? У нас есть сын, Джейми, ему 25. Он повар. Но он все еще живет с нами, потому что он говорит, что слишком дорого арендовать квартиру. И он, получается, недостаточно зарабатывает денег. Он дает нам некоторые деньги каждый месяц, чтобы платить по счетам, то есть for bills, по-другому за квартиру, за счета. Немного, но чуть-чуть. И знаете, это, конечно, прикольно, что он с нами дома, то есть хорошо, что иметь его дома, но мы думаем, ему нужно быть более независимым. Да, абсолютно. Но на прошлой неделе он нам рассказал, что он планирует, получается, 2-недельный отпуск в Мексику с его друзьями. Я имею в виду, имеется в виду, я считаю, это, конечно, прикольно. Нет, вот так вот. Думаю, это правда, что он работает на полноценной работе, то есть full-time, то есть работает полностью, имеет работу, и мы все знаем, что ему нужен, получается, перерыв, но мы вообще-то думаем, и вот тут человек отвечает, да, мы не думаем, что ему стоит поехать на какой-то в дорогой отпуск, путешествие, потому что он не дает нам много денег. Вот так вот. Мы думаем, ему стоит сэкономить его деньги или как их накопить, свои деньги, и таким образом он может купить свое место, где ему жить. Следует ли нам сказать ему, что он не может поехать в Мексику? То есть они против этого решения. Так, теперь эксперт говорит. Знаете, если честно, я думаю, вы что-то слишком жестко с ним обходитесь. То есть это вот так вот. Чуть-чуть вы жестковаты с ним. Я что имею в виду? Ему только 25. И это хорошо, что у него есть работа, и получается, каждому человеку нужен отпуск, выходной. Мой совет заключается в том, то есть мой совет то, что вы должны, не должны, вам следует позволить ему поехать в Мексику, но когда он вернется, вам стоит сесть с ним и поговорить с ним про то, чтобы начать платить аренду. То есть вот эту вот вещь. Таким образом, он поймет, что ему необходимо начать планировать, какие-то планы строить на будущее и начать думать про то, чтобы снимать квартиру. Но я знаю, я это знаю от того, что я разговаривал с другими родителями, то, что есть много молодых людей, которые все еще живут дома, in their 20s имеется в виду после 20 лет, даже после 30, и у некоторых из них даже нет работы. Поэтому, то есть имеется в виду, в любом случае или во многих случаях, я думаю, вам еще повезло. Вы видите? Так, Аннабель говорит, ты видишь, это то, что я думала. Имеется в виду, эксперт немножко совпал с ее мнением. Вот такая вот история Аннабель и Питера. Дальше идем. Теперь у нас история Ника. Привет, я Ник. Привет, Ник. Ну что, какая твоя проблема? Получается, я со своей девушкой 3 года, у нас очень хорошие отношения, несмотря на то, несмотря на то, что мы немного разные. Она умная и популярная, то есть среди людей, а я тихий и работящий. В любом случае, теперь она хочет поехать в Лондон, потому что она думает, что она там найдет работу получше. Она сможет найти получше работу там. И она хочет, чтобы я поехал в Лондон тоже. Но знаете, Лондон более дорогой. Much more exciting. Нет, Лондон, он более прикольный, чем Болтон. То есть это город более прикольный, чем Болтон, где я живу сейчас. Но у меня есть работа в Болтоне, и у меня хорошая зарплата. Что я имею в виду? Идея вообще переезда и, то есть начинания новой жизни, это похоже на какой-то сон или мечту. Но для меня это, what it is, но для меня вот это вот все, я имею в виду там мечта, вот это, она нереальная. То есть не относится к реальности. Что же стоит мне сделать? Должен я следовать своему сердцу, переехать в Лондон с ней, или мне стоит остаться здесь, где я, знаете, у меня хорошая работа, но, возможно, я потеряю свою девушку. Такая вот история. Теперь эксперт. Я думаю, вам стоит посидеть вместе и поговорить про ваши мечты на будущее и посмотреть, то есть совпадают ли они, имеете ли вы те же самые мечты. Если они совпадают или мечты те же самые, и вы можете видеть будущее вместе, тогда первая вещь, которую для нее, это... имеется в виду, первая вещь, которую ей нужно сделать, это все-таки поискать работу в Лондоне. Если она найдет одну, то есть имеется в виду работу, затем, может быть, она может переехать туда сначала, и вы можете видеться по выходным и вообще посмотреть, то есть как вам там будет жить, how you feel, то есть что вы будете думать вот про эту жизнь там. Так, и Ник говорит, спасибо за это, я думаю, это очень хороший совет. И такой вот вариант. Так, дальше. Теперь у нас. Привет, меня зовут Джейн. Привет, Джейн. Так, зачем ты звонишь? Месяц назад моя подруга Сьюзен и я решили поехать в отпуск вместе этим летом в Турцию. Поэтому мы спланировали все, и я, получается, с нетерпением ждала этой поездки. I was really looking forward to it. То есть с нетерпением ждала этого. Так как Сьюзен, на самом деле, она старая подруга, и я не очень-то ее часто вижу. Но вот как-то на днях, the other day, да, это как на днях она сказала мне, что она рассказала другой подруге, another friend of hers, другой ее подруге, иногда так говорят, friend of mine, friend of hers, про наш, получается, поездку, да, про наши каникулы. Кого-то, который я не знаю, женщина, которая по имени Энджи. И Энджи, она была, заинтересована в этом. И теперь Сьюзен, получается, пригласила ее поехать с нами тоже. Сьюзен никогда не спрашивала меня, что я об этом думала. Вот, я даже не знаю Энджи, и я не хочу ехать, то есть туда в отпуск с кем-то, с которым я не знаю, с человеком, которым я не знаю. Что стоит мне сделать? What should I do? Соответственно, дальше у нас такой совет. Эксперт говорит, да, я думаю, твой друг, получается, has been a bit insensitive. То есть, как бы здесь перевести? Insensitive, то есть человек, которого не волнует, да, другие чувства. То есть имеется в виду не тактично немножко поступила. Давайте так переведем в этом контексте. Вообще insensitive немного нечувствительно. И она, получается, поставила вас в тяжелую позицию. То есть, это я, конечно, прям совсем дословно, да, то есть вас в неудобную позицию-то поставила. У вас есть несколько разных опций или решений. Вы можете сказать, что вы не едете, если Энджи поедет, и тогда вы, получается, поставите Сьюзен в неудобную позицию. Или вы можете просто отменить и предложить другой отпуск чуть попозже, когда вас будет только двое. Или же вы можете пригласить кого-то еще, то есть того человека, который вам нравится, и затем вас будет 4. И на самом деле, что иногда лучше, чем, то есть имеется в виду 4 будет лучшее число, чем 3. То есть, грубо говоря, как-то так. Но в действительности, in fact, это в действительности, вы не знаете Энджи, и, может быть, она вам не понравится. Наоборот, и, может быть, она вам понравится. Поэтому я думаю, что вам стоит попробовать ее узнать сначала. Если она вам понравится, затем, получается, этот отпуск будет, возможно, успешным. Если нет, затем в этом случае вам нужно сказать своему другу, что вы не едете, потому что вы не думаете, что это I don't think it will work with Angie. Не думайте, что такое прокатит с Angie, грубо говоря, что это сработает. Вы знаете, плохой отпуск — это хуже, чем вообще нет отпуска. Или так, да, holiday, это имеется в виду, знаете, плохая поездка куда-то, хуже, чем вообще, если не ехать. То есть вот такой вот совет она получила. Что ж, надеюсь, что-то прояснилось. Теперь идем дальше. Number 5. Vocabulary and speaking. Get. A. Look at 3 sentences from this lesson. Match get in sentences 1 to 3 to meanings A to C. A. Buy, obtain. B. Receive. C. Become. Number 1. He will never get as excited as you about, for example, a wedding. Number 2. He should save his money so that he can get his own place to live. Number 3. I get a good salary. Now let's look at the answer. Number 1. He will never get as excited as you about, for example, a wedding. The answer is C. Become. Get excited is like become excited. Number 2. He should save his money so that he can get his own place to live. The answer is A. Buy, obtain. Get his own place, it means buy it. Buy a house or flat. And number 3. I get a good salary. The answer is B. Receive. Receive a good salary. It was a warming up exercise. Now let's see the main part. or let's look at the main part. Get. Get is one of the most common verbs in English. It has several different meanings. Not several, but a lot of different meanings. For example, arrive, become, and can also be used with many prepositions or adverbs with different meanings. For example, get up, get on with, and so on. And I think it's very time to learn how to use phrases with get. Look, the task will be very simple. Try to translate these phrases into your native language and then just learn them, okay? Good luck. Part C. In pairs, ask and answer the questions with get. As usually, I'll provide you with my answers to give you some ideas how to answer. And extra listening, is always good. Let's start. Question number 1. When was the last time you got a present? What was it? Who was it from? I got a present 2 weeks ago when I had my birthday. My girlfriend, friends, and parents just gave me some money, and for me it was the best present I could think of. I don't like getting things as presents. Money is the best option. Number 2. Do you usually get nervous before exams or presentations? What do you do to feel more relaxed? Actually, I would say no. I like exams and I like giving presentations. Yeah, but I get a bit nervous. I think it's a common thing which happens to anyone, to everyone. But I don't think that I get terrified, very nervous. No. But to feel more relaxed, I just practice saying things that I'm going to say, and that's all. It's a simple and good technique, I think. Okay. Question number 3. What website do you use if you want to get tickets? A. To travel, or B. For the cinema, theater, concerts, and so on. Look, if I want to get tickets, I just click on the first link I see in Google, that's all. For me, it's so simple. Number 4. Who do you get on with best in your family? Is there anybody you don't get on with? Look, I get on well with all my family. Mother, father, and elder brother, and so on. My family is very supportive and nice. Number 5. How do you get to work, school, university? How long does it usually take you? It's about time. I mean the second question. Look, if I want to get to my work, I usually walk. Using my feet. It takes me 5 seconds from my bed to my desk because I work online. One thing for you to say, just remember, when you hear the question, how do you get to and a place, people want to know like a mean of transport you use, like by bus, by car, or you just walk using your feet and so on, something like that. Question number 6. What's the first thing you do when you get home from work, school, university? I don't get home because I work at home. But the first thing I do when I finish my work, I go to my kitchen and have a nice, wonderful meal. Yeah. Number 7. How many messages do you get a day on your phone? How many emails do you get? Who are they usually from? And do you answer them? I get a few messages, but not a lot, I don't usually use emails, only messengers like Telegram and WhatsApp. They're usually from the messages, they're usually from my students, and of course, I always answer them. It's a part of my job. Number 8. Do you have a good sense of direction, or do you often get lost? That's a painful question for me. I often get lost. I rely on people who I travel with. They usually look for directions and I just follow them. And I'll be honest, if I need to find a place I have never been to before, I usually get really nervous. I don't know why, but it's just my thing. That's all. Now look, be ready to answer these questions yourself. You can do it orally or you can write the answers somewhere. It's up to you. And don't forget to use the verb get in your answers. It's important to practice it. For example, like when was the last time you got a present? You just answer, I got a present. Do you usually get nervous? I don't usually get nervous, or I get nervous not very often, and so on. So you must use get in your answers because that's the point of this speaking. It's important to practice it. Now, good luck. And now let's look at your homework tasks finally.